Good morning and welcome to the unveiling of our new outboard. I am running this purely off the cuff, so wherever this goes, so it will. So what are you talking about? An outboard in a box? Yes, I have been running a petrol outboard for about 12 months now. That's unfair to say. Most of the time we're in lockdown, so I've probably had 3 months out of it, and it's been fairly much nothing but trouble. I'm talking about a reputable brand. I'm talking about a fairly simple piece of machinery that just doesn't want to play the game. The second thing about it is that I travel 3 hours back from the boat in my car, and I have got no choice but to put the outboard in the back, and the petrol fumes just kill me. Anyway, I decided to have a look at the option of a electric outboard, and I didn't want to go down the route of some of the really expensive brands because I'm not after an outboard replacement. I'm just after something that can get me from the wharf to the boat and maybe from the boat into the shore occasionally. I'm not after a full-on power horse like some of the more expensive ones can be. Why did I buy this brand? Well, it's pretty much a try before you buy, if that makes sense. I wanted to, pardon the pun, dip my toe in the water first. This brand and this model was equivalent to a more expensive brand that I was very seriously considering, but at less than half the cost. I thought, if this turns out to be a disaster, then I haven't lost too much money. So that's why I bought this brand, and this is the first part. This is the unboxing, and later on, hopefully, I will be able to demonstrate it for you in the water. So let's get into it. It's just arrived a very short time ago, so I haven't had a chance to even suss it all out yet. So this is the Watersnake Venom SX. It's a 44-pound thrust, 36-inch shaft, so spot on for my little tender. My little tender is fairly much the same as the picture there on the front. So yeah, let's have a look and see what we've got. Looks fairly simple. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot to it. Of course, you've got to have the obligatory sticker. I think everything I buy these days comes with the obligatory sticker. Now, the Watersnake brand is marketed by Jarvis Walker here in Australia, and they've been around fishing for forever, as many of you would know. So let's have a look. Very simple. Very, very simple. There's the heavy bit, which is the power head. Okay, it requires me to put the propeller on. That's not a problem. I think I can probably manage that. And there's the control head. Let's just take that out. And plastic. There's the propeller. The 44-pound and the 54-pound thrust come with a three-blade propeller. It's a fairly simple process. There is a screw. Oh, that's a cover. It looks like it just screw. Oh, that's very simple. And anyway, we'll get to that in just a few moments. Aside for now. Of course, the instructions are being mailed. We don't need to worry about those. We don't need to worry about those. let's just have a look at that from this perspective. So the electrical cables, they look like looks like one's an M8 on the positive side and one's an M6 on the earth side. So let's just earth. There's no earth on a boat. All right, let's just put that there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach the propeller, and I did the unmanly thing of reading the instructions. So a few things. In the packaging, the shear pin is placed inside that groove there, and there's a bit of sticky tape over it. So what I've done is I've turned the motor a little bit, and we'll turn a little bit more, so that the groove in the shaft is horizontal, because I need to leave that in there whilst I marry the groove in the back of the propeller up with the shear pin. I'm going to place it in there. It feels like it's in and the motor is turning, that's good. The nut I then need to place on the outside. There's no torque provided, which is a little frustrating, but they do provide you with a little adjustment tool. I don't know what you call it, a spanner, a tightener, whatever you'd like to call that. So I'm going to tighten that till it's firm. Motor is spinning, very good. So on the cradle, the first thing that comes to mind is how much of the motor actually comes forward of the shaft, and if you compare that with a normal outboard, which tends to come down straight, not much protruding in front of the transom of the boat. You can see that there's a fair bit here, and this is why these are going to be a bit deeper in the water, I would suggest, than a standard outboard. I've got to say that the adjustment for the trim is a fairly simple process of pushing this lever down, and then you can adjust the trim to your desired height from there. Second thing that comes to mind is how high the control head sits. Yeah. I went to the Watersnake portal where the buying guide was, and considering the size of the transom on the dinghy that I'm running, I purchased the 36-inch shaft because this is what they suggested to me. I would, in hindsight, have gone for the 30-inch shaft because I feel, I don't know yet, and this will find out in our test, but I feel like I'm going to be operating the throttle from around my ears. That's just the feeling I get at this stage, and unless I drop the motor right down in the water, and then the draft of my boat is considerably increased. But anyway, that's something again that we'll test out in our testing regime. So let's look at the power head itself, not the control head itself, and what we have is a very simple voltage meter, and I'm running lithium. It's going to be like that until it dies, essentially. So could it be informative? Yes, I suppose it's informative, but it doesn't really give us a true representation of what's going on. Maybe it will show our voltage use as we start to crank the motor up. So let's have a look at that now. So we've got forward gears and backwards and reverse gears, if you like. It says backwards here. This apparently is telescopic. There it is there. Comes out an extra maybe 3 or 4 inches. So let's have a look. I appreciate that it's probably wise to put the motor itself in water. It's to keep it cool, and it's designed for that, but I'm sure for our short running times we're not going to have any problem with that. So let's look at its quietness. In the first forward gear, second, that's our third, and we can easily torque here, and fourth. Not a lot of difference there. And up to the fifth, you can see that the voltage hasn't changed whatsoever. So there's probably the biggest jump between obviously 0 and 1, but 1 and 2 and to 3. Let's have a look at the backwards. Still a fair bit of speed going on there, and those will, when we actually test this on the water, we'll see what kind of results we get out of there. But some people may be surprised. It might be a little bit louder than what they first thought. But for me, it's like if we had the outboard running in here, we wouldn't be able to hear ourselves. The adjustment of the shaft is a simple adjustment there. We'll wait to see how long those last. And there's a collar as well that I'm going to tighten down now, just to keep it in situ. Of course, when we get the motor on the boat, we'll be able to adjust it correctly. The transom mount attachments, metal thread with plastic handles, which is no different than any brand of outboard that you're going to buy. So from the reputable makers, so I don't have a problem with that. I still think this is a fairly handy little feature here, and yeah, I look forward to getting this on the boat. Overall impressions. My first overall impression is that you get what you paid for. Recommended retail of these are around the $300 mark Australian as of mid 2022, and as I say, it's about less than half of what the very famous maker of trolling motors would be charging you for a similar product. So if this is a failure for us, we haven't lost too much. I have no idea why they've decided to put two different size connectors onto the wires. I am now going to have to trim this one off, put an M8 connector on. I suppose if you've got M8 poles on your battery, M6 poles on your battery, you're fine. But why would they be different? If you can work that out, put it in the comments. To me, it's just annoying. So, Watersnake Venom SXW4436, so 44 pounds of thrust, 36-inch shaft. Let's see how this goes. Thanks for watching. Of course, it's impossible talking about electric motors without talking about electricity. And what I've done for a fuel tank is this little setup here, quite simply a battery box, and inside here I have purchased a 100 amp hour lithium battery, and I decided that this was going to be the way to go. It's I think about 12 kilos, so absolutely nothing really when it comes to batteries. 100 amp hour I thought would give me plenty of range with this motor. So that's what I've done there. I haven't gone to the most expensive lithium battery. I've saved those for inside the boat. I thought this one will do the job quite adequately. And there we go. The voltmeter is a bit pointless on this because it's lithium and it's going to be the same voltage until it goes. So I've organised a Victron Energy shunt so I can use that as a fuel gauge if you like. So there we go. That's my power.